Hi guys, welcome to my channel Living Large. Today we are going to work on a project that I had did approximately 4 years back. It was a small hut which was made out of teak wood, which I had borrowed from one of my carpenter friend. Uh, he lent me, he allowed me to take some of the pieces which were not used by him, and I really thank him for that. And I use only two materials in this, that is wood and wood glue to complete this project. Apart from that, piece of nail which was supporting the hinge of the door, and it came up pretty good. So we will see how I did it. I had made this hut somewhere around 4 years back. So for the reason of making this video, I disassembled it and I'm going to remake the hut for this video. For that reason, I let it soak in water for 1 day. All the wood glue released and I thoroughly washed it. I dried it for 1 day, and the next thing what I'm going to do is sand it down so that it has a very smooth finish, and the glue is going to adhere it very well. Okay, so for this project I might require a few things to work with. So first thing I would like to show you is this cutting board that I'm using here. It's called a cutting board. It's a very good thing to have one of these. This works as a good platform for your working table. Any kind of cutting, measuring, you can do it on this table. It has both measurements in inches as well as centimeters. So apart from this cutting board, I might require few more things, that are a cutting plier, a scalpel, a pencil, glue. This would be a piece of plywood and a hammer, which will not be used much, just for the door hinges, and some sandpapers. This is of 180 grit and this is of 150 grit. I'll be using only these two sandpapers because the end results should be quite satisfactory for me with these two. The 180 grit sandpaper is going to give me the satisfactory results, so I'm using only these two sandpapers. Hopefully you will enjoy this video. Okay friends, as you can see here, I have drawn three layouts, which are the basic requirements for this, and I think we do not require anything much more than this. This would be the front elevation of our hut, and this would be the base on which the entire hut is gonna be structured, and this is the arch which is gonna come in front of the hut, which will give it a bit appealing look. So you can see the measurements here. The first one, the first arch is 120 on its base, and the height of this arch is 105 mm. Every measurements here are in mm, not in inches. So this is 120 mm and the height would be 105 mm. And when compared to this arch would be a bit bigger because I want this to be a bit elevated on both the sides. Here it will be elevated, here it will be a bit smaller than this measurement, so that this rim would fit entire on this, which will cover this line here. Okay, so the measurements of this would be 95 mm from the base to the inner arch, and 110 mm from the base to the top of the arch, and the width would be 110 mm from this point to this point, from this point to this point, and from this point to this point it will be 130 mm. Whereas for the base it will be 175 mm from this point to this point, and 17 mm is the height. You can go with any size. It can be 5 mm, 10 mm, 15 mm. It's the availability with your material. Okay, so these are the measurements that I have taken. So further we are going to cut the wood strips along with this for a thickness of approximately about 5 mm. 5 mm would be the thickness of this arch as well as this arch. The thickness of this would be 17 mm and length of this would be 180 mm. Thank you. Hi friends, now we will start assembling the things. First of all, you can see that I have cut out the pictures that I have shown you earlier. This would be the frame of the hut, and this would be the front elevation of the hut, and this is the base as I had shown you earlier. This is the base of the hut that is going to be. I have sticked these two sticks just to make a reference point. Actually it will be like this. This is the rear portion of the hut and this is the front portion of the hut. The hut would be exactly till this position and you will get a bit of elevation so that it gives a very appealing look. It's just for the aesthetics, nothing else. You will get an idea about what I am speaking when I finish the hut or start proceeding with the building of the hut. So that is how it is going to be. So I just wanted to show you these pieces to give you an idea how these pieces have come up. This piece, especially the one which is going to be at the very front of the hut, I have just cut out the layout and I have sanded it. I have sanded it very smooth. I have sanded it very smooth and I have curved it. These were square kind of a thing which you can make which you can make out that it is bit kind of oval shape. That is because of the thorough sanding that I have done on all the sides of the frame. Okay, and these pieces, as you can see here, as I had mentioned earlier, this should be approximately about 3 to 4 mm. Probably this is not bigger than 3 to 4 mm. This is how it has come. This is the front piece, and this would be the rear piece, and this is also 4 to 5 mm, hardly 4 mm at the maximum, probably 5 mm. I have not measured it because it is not very critical to be measured. And along with this, there is one more piece, that is this. This is exactly the identical piece of that, the same piece, but only the thing here is I have made a opening for the door. Here is the place where our door is gonna sit, and I have just attached a piece of wood. You will be able to see here a notch which is coming out, which is just a bit out of the door space. That is to make a stop for the door. This will help us in the future when we are shutting the door. It will stop the door from going inside. Okay, that is the benefit of this notch that I have made here. A stopper notch, or a stopper, you can call it as a stopper. Okay, and apart from that, I would like to show you one more thing, that is, this is the door that I have made for our hut. It is going to be like this. These two are the nails that I spoke to you earlier, the only piece of metal that has been used in the construction of this hut. And this is the handle that I have made for our hut. And you will be able to see a frame here. This is made out of the same wood, but I have selected few pieces where I got a white color of wood to make an outer line for this door, so that this door looks a bit appealing, more decorative, more attractive. It's a very simple process. I had just measured the size of the door, the four corners of the door, and I have angled it, cut it at an angle so that all the four corners meet here. You will not be able to see any side, any particular side thickness. That is because I have cut it in an angle where the two pieces meet at the very corner of this piece, and I have thoroughly sanded it with the sanding paper. Okay, and apart from that, I have cut down two pieces. I have made this piece which is the length of which is going to be the length of our hut, the total length of our hut from front to back, and this piece especially is going to sit on the top of our roof, exactly like this. This piece is going to sit exactly like this after finishing the hut. Okay, this is just to give you an idea how it is looking. Okay, similarly, I have more pieces like this which will follow the rails, which will sit just adjacent to each other and gonna follow the line. The next preparation would be to sand each and every piece of the wood that I have to give it a very smooth finish. I'll start recording the video once I'm done with the sanding. Now we are finished with sanding. The next step would be joining all the pieces of this hut together. I'll be using only one thing, that is wood glue, to join all the pieces together. So let's see how it looks after finishing it. Probably you will enjoy the build. And I will not be demonstrating anything to you during this video, during this part of the video. The only thing which you will be limited to visualize is this part of the table. I'll take the camera to this position so that the view would be very clear for you, and you will be able to see how I'm doing it and what are the things I'm utilizing in doing this and building up this. Thank you.